FESPA Berlin 2022 is less than 6 months away, and market players, exhibitors in particular, are already planning their strategies and their budgets. That's why I decided to meet with Michael Ryan, the head of global business development at FESPA. Hi, Michael. It's good to see you after such a long time. Thanks for accepting my invitation today.
Ciao, Lorenzo, and it was a pleasure to finally see you in October at FESPA in Amsterdam, and just wanted to wishing you all a happy New Year.
Thanks, the same to you and your family and all your team at FESPA.
Grazie.
Michael, if you agree, before starting our talk today, help me to retrace a little bit your journey into trade shows and into FESPA, of course. When did you start dealing with these big exhibition halls, with these many booths in the grid?
When I was young, so in the 90s, Lorenzo, when I finished university, I joined a company in the exhibition industry. So that was 1998 when I started getting involved in the international exhibitions. I was working for FESPA Berlin, I was working for Fiera Milano, I was working for many venues around the world. And then in 2003, so approaching 19 years ago, I saw the option to join an organizer in the UK. I was working in London and I saw this position. And when you see it, you see these positions, you think, okay, they're looking for a German speaker. So I spent years in Germany. So I thought, okay, this sounds like it's for me. And then I joined FESPA, and that was a very startup from FESPA in 2003. Well, in 2002, the FESPA decided to bring the events in-house. And of course, then I was one of the first appointments at the company. And then look at us, we're almost 19 years later. And yeah, I'm addicted, not just to exhibitions, but more to the printing industry. So everything that FESPA represents and the community that FESPA represents. So it's been an incredible experience and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember we were both kids when you started at FESPA.
Exactly. But this, Lorenzo, this industry keeps us young. You know, people talk to me, especially they say, Mike, I was like, oh, even over Christmas, I was looking at print. You know, I'm constantly looking at what's happening in print, and you're just discovering new applications all the time. And I think, well, it's my work, but it's also my passion. So it's something which everything that FESPA represents means a lot to me.
Mike, you mentioned Amsterdam in 2021. I don't believe that the overall numbers of the show are such relevant, but maybe in any case, we can talk about the quality, about the segmentation of the visitors of last year's show. Which figures did you collect?
Lorenzo, look, I think the figures are important because it was a tremendous achievement. It was great leadership from the FESPA board and the FESPA senior management team in making us all believe that we could run an event, because everybody, if you think about 2021, events were being cancelled everywhere. Even for us, when we made the final decision in July to go ahead with the event, everything just came into place. And, you know, we were very fortunate, of course, the timing, the decisions that FESPA made, and of course, the event, you know, we met each other in Amsterdam, but when the doors opened in Amsterdam, even before, when we were setting up and when we were getting everything ready, I was thinking to myself, look, wow, everybody's happy to be here. It's a safe environment. Everything is coming together really well for the FESPA exhibition. And then, of course, the event opened, and the buzz, the excitement, the energy which we felt and everybody felt to finally be back at a live event was incredible. We had just under 8,000 visitors. So if you think about the restrictions, if people couldn't go, like, for example, us in the UK, we didn't even know, like 2 weeks before the event opened, if we could actually go to Amsterdam. So we were putting, you know, there was a lot of hesitancy, but it was tremendous to see everybody. And over 100 countries, visitors from over 100 countries came to FESPA. And looking at the statistics and the figures, you're like, wow, how did these people actually get there? How did they actually come to the event? Everybody came to the event. The figures were very high. So, for example, I mentioned there the visitor numbers of just under 8,000, which for the size of the event and what we had on display was fantastic. There was always a buzz. The level, as you mentioned there, the quality. Always at the FESPA exhibitions, the quality is very important. Managing directors, print owners, etc., coming to the event. So we had 44% of our audience were senior management. And if you look at the statistics, then you've got 54%. And this was a figure that surprised us a lot. But if you think about it, we haven't had a FESPA exhibition since 2019. 54% of the audience was brand new to FESPA. Okay. And that's inconceivable. Speaking to suppliers as well after the event, they said, Mike, we generated so many leads, but these were people who weren't in our databases. So these were people that we didn't know already from the industry. So times have changed. People were really excited to be back in Amsterdam. And of course, the industry was looking forward to uniting once again to come to an event. And that was, the quality was there. Which was incredible to see. The FESPA associations worked really hard in bringing people to the event as well. So we were really, really happy with what happened. Like when the doors opened, I was like, wow, it's just great to be back and to see the energy in the room, to see the what FESPA delivered in 2021 was incredible.
Now let's talk a moment about the trends, about your FESPA exhibitors, about what they took and what they are taking and what they are going to take to the show, which hardware and software technology or which consumables, which services are now trending the most inside your trade show. And on the contrary, what is gradually disappearing from FESPA?
That's a difficult question. Yeah, that's a difficult question. I think the trends which you're seeing from, you mean from an exhibitor perspective, yes?
Yeah, definitely.
From the exhibitors. What I'm seeing and what we're noticing from our community, because as you know, FESPA, we are representing the industry worldwide from the associations. What we're seeing there and the trends that we predicted many years ago. And of course, trends in the industry, they don't just happen for one event. It takes many years for trends to develop and actually become to reality. If you look at web to print, for example, if you look at that, this was discussed maybe 10 years ago when people first started talking about web to print in the printing industry, and commercial printing has had in terms of the magazines, the newspapers, the cards, birthday cards, etc. This industry, that's always been a little step ahead. Because, for example, the complexity of our industry is that applications, you have a variety of applications, variety of substrates as well. So not everything is going to be the same. It's not simple. You're not printing on one substrate. So web to print, of course, we had COVID, we had lockdowns, everything went online. And those companies there who were ready to do that, who were ready to go online, they were one of the they were successful companies during the lockdown period. And any printer out there in the specialty printing industry, they need to offer those services. They need to offer that value, because we as consumers, we are buyers of print. We are consumers of print. So for us as well, it's we expect to be able to order online, to be able to customize our print and production as well. So that's what printers are looking at doing. So if I look back to Amsterdam, you had many, there was lots of companies there who were talking about web to print, who were talking about customization in the industry. What we've noticed then as well is during those periods of, right now, printing companies have to get into automation as well. So they are looking at the whole production process to speed up production. But also, through no fault of the printing industry, some of the resources in those companies, they haven't got the workforce, they haven't got the labor force right now. They have reduced reduced people working in production as well, due to people being sick, so they can't do. So the automation of process from design straight through to finishing, that was in evidence all across FESPA in Amsterdam. And of course, as we line up and think about Berlin coming up, that will be one of the major trends coming across in the industry. And that development, where you look at all the major manufacturers in the industry, they're all talking about automation. They're all talking about the software and how everything integrates with each other. And of course, we can't ignore sustainability. Sustainability is happening. Sustainability is the future. So that is in evidence all across the FESPA events, where companies are looking at their processes, looking at what they're manufacturing, what they're producing. Printers are looking at the latest machinery which is available in the market to help them become more sustainable businesses then in the future as well.
Mike, you know better than me, dealing with customers, not everything goes straight all the time, especially in a tough year like 2021. What are the main issues, the main complaints you have received from the exhibitors last year, and how did you handle them?
I think about one of the biggest challenges people had was just being, travel restrictions were incredibly difficult. So that basically meant that companies, they weren't able to travel to events. They were restricted, especially coming from the USA and those markets and those countries. So, of course, FESPA, we were very accommodating to everybody who wanted to be in Amsterdam. So what happened from our situation was that, look, those companies who couldn't attend Amsterdam, we were very happy to say, look, you can't make it. It's not your fault. Let's move. Let's see you in Berlin. So we're already seeing quite an uptake in the number of companies coming to Berlin. It's about confidence as well. And I think one thing in the industry is that people were, you listen to the news, and I think that everything, when you look at complaints, and I would just literally say it was just about confidence in 2021, where people had to make decisions. Business owners had to think about investment, but they also had to think about the people and the staff and the people who work for them. So most of the decisions were based on the event happening, and the event happened, and we know that the companies there had a very, very successful event, and it's all about delivering that. As we look to the future now as well, at FESPA we have a huge, I would say, an advantage, but it's because we're so passionate about print that we see the trends that are happening. We see what's happening to the customers of our customers, who are the exhibitors. So we can create events, and I think it's moving ahead. I think we're all in a very, very good position. We've had the first event. The event happened. We know the protocol, so we're ready to move ahead in the future.
You're right. You're right. It's always a matter of priorities, and again, you know much better than me that in a trade show, one of the priorities when people are ready to book their presence at the show is the floor plan, is the position. Okay, I want to be there. I don't want to be there. I want to be in front of this other guy, not in front of this other guy. I want to be in this or in this other hall. So how are you going to plan Berlin and the next editions in general? What you believe will be the winning formulas for the future? I mean, application areas, big companies on one side and smaller, on the other. Good guys versus bad guys.
Exactly. Good guys versus bad
the
guys.
right
I like
way
that.
to plan.
Everybody's a good guy. Look, in Berlin, we the biggest, we have the advantages that we've had in 2018 and also in 2007. We've been to Berlin before, so we know the venue very well. So we've got 8 halls in Berlin. and everything is on the upper level, because you probably know Berlin, sometimes you're up and down, etc., going around the venue.
I remember.
So that was, so we've got the opportunity where we're back in Berlin, and of course we've got all of the halls on the upper level. So we've got the new halls, etc. Brand new hall 27, which links into hall 25. So it's all linked really well. How do we prioritize? I think we've learned it a little bit, and I think we first started doing this also in Amsterdam, where we were taking, first time we were planning the show in Amsterdam, we had all these restrictions in place, crowd control numbers. We had to look at this. We had to see what entrances were going to be used. There was going to be limitations on the number of people, etc., that could go to certain areas. So, of course, that's helped us with Berlin. When people come, first of all, because I've stood there, I've been at the entrance to the FESPA shows, so I've heard many people say, "Where's my stand? Where do we go? What do we do?" So first and foremost at FESPA, for Lorenzo from the press, you say, "Where's the press room?" etc. So first and foremost at FESPA, we take into consideration the visitors and the attendees, and what they want to see and what areas are of interest to them. So, for example, Hall 27 in Berlin is purely focused on textile screen printing. We have the industrial screen printing in there as well, and we've got all the DTG companies in that hall as well. So right now in that hall, you've got Polyprint, you've got Brother, you've got Aon, you've got M&R, MHM, you've got all these companies coming together once again, and they're all in that particular industry, because the customer who's going to buy the latest DTG machine, they want to see the latest heat transfers, they want to see the latest embroidery, they want to see the latest software, they want to see the latest screen printing machines. So they're all in that hall, because Lorenzo, if you sometimes I've met people who come to FESPA and they say, "I'm going to be here for like a day," and I'm like, "Really? You're going to attend FESPA for a day?" And because that's not impossible, because you're not going to see hardly anything. There are FESPA shows that I've been to that I haven't seen everybody. I haven't been able to go to every hall, because so it's focusing the attendees. So in Berlin, what we've done as well is that we've been able to split up the manufacturers. So, for example, we made sure in terms of people walking around the show, because people walk around the show, they want to see Durst, they want to see Mimaki, they want to see Agfa, they want to see Canon, they want to see EFI, they want to see HP, and all of those companies, Fujifilm, they want to see Fujifilm as well. So I'm not forgetting anybody. And everybody is split out between the halls. So, for example, the plans look really good right now. I don't know if have you seen the plans yet for Berlin?
Not yet. I couldn't see the last version of the floor plan. So
brilliant. Our website, the website, the FESPA Global Print Expo website is going to be live very, very soon. So all the information will be there with all the exhibitors who are going to be at the show. But the layout of the show, so it's always good. So, for example, you need to mix it up a little bit as well, because sometimes you'll discover something new at FESPA. Like you might want to go and visit Durst, for example, and then you'll see a software company and you're like, wow, I didn't know I needed this product. So those, as I say, these serendipitous moments that you only get at the live event, where you actually stumble and you find something and it changes your life. I remember I've spoken to some printers who are looking for, they wanted to see a printer, but then discovered this revolutionary finishing system, which they didn't think that they needed until they saw it in action. They're like, wow. And that's how we mix it up at FESPA. So we have the big companies together, surrounded by companies who will make a difference in the future.
Yeah, I definitely confirm that's one of the key reasons for today for visiting shows repetitively is looking what's new, what's really new and disruptive in the industry, not just shaking hands with the old friends, which is a fantastic experience, is a fantastic thing. But for an entrepreneur, for an investor, it's definitely a priority to learn and to.
And we're always looking for, because we work closely with the associations, we work closely with FESPA board. We've got Graham Richardson Locke, who as you know, is head of the associations and head of technical at FESPA. So these are people who are we're constantly looking for the latest innovations. What's happening? What trends are coming? We will discover new companies and see how they fit into FESPA and how we can promote them in the event.
What I saw in the website is that looking at the content, at the highlights you are offering to the audience, I saw that Printeriors, for example, will be back, and the same is for the World Rope Masters. And these areas, these thematic areas are very interesting. I also remember that you launched a corrugated experience. It was in Berlin in 2018. It's something that probably didn't work out as expected, but in general, how much, in your opinion, does it make sense to steer the content of a show, or how much better to let visitors and exhibitors just take advantage of each other's demand, each other's offer?
Exactly. FESPA, we are led by the associations. We're guided by them in terms of what the content is at the FESPA exhibitions, etc. as well. And the feature areas, they offer an opportunity to really focus on a dedicated community. So if you look at something like the Wrap Masters, people will come to FESPA just to stay 4 days at the Wrap Masters. So for some of those communities where they're coming together, they want to discover new areas, and it's nice to be able to showcase. And that's you touched on the Printeriors concept there and the interior decor. That has evolved into an incredible, as you can see around me, into an incredible experience where people have a moment where they can discover, working with some suppliers. So we're always working with, if you think about back to Amsterdam, we worked with Mimaki, we worked with Swiss Qprint, and all these incredible technologies which were in the marketplace, and showcase them. Then companies can go and visit those companies then when they discover it. But when you think about FESPA, you're never, even touching on the corrugated experience, I loved what was on showcase at the corrugated experience, because I know there was some companies there who would never have gone to FESPA without the corrugated experience. And those companies offered incredible solutions. There was a company there who did the automated boxes. And I know that one of our board members was like, wow, this is something I need, because I can customize every single box that I'm sending out to my customers for wrapping graphics, because when I'm sending out my graphics, everything is customized. So that was interesting. And of course, the difficulty with some of these features is that a lot of our principal exhibitors at FESPA, they showcase everything. So they want to have one stand in one area, etc. as well. So we will be working more closely on the applications and directing people to see the individual exhibitors. We are looking at some new areas for Berlin, especially touching on the trends which I discussed earlier on. So there will be more, of course, to engage and to really, if you have a focus on that particular niche area, if you look at areas like interior decor, for example, even if it's just to look at engage with the FESPA associations and find out how you can become involved. These are projects which we're working on right now.
Mike, Berlin is, we both know, is a beautiful city. I love it. And it's great to hear that you have worked and succeeded in improving the experience for the visitors. But for example, I can't forget the overcrowding at the metro station at the Berlin Messe. It was crazy. How do you plan to further improve the experience for visitors, also in terms of logistics, of transportations?
I think you're referring to that Tuesday, because I remember on the Tuesday, the first day in Berlin, we had that horrendous thunderstorm, which hit like as soon as the show finished, and of course that disrupted all the taxis in the area. So everything was in chaos, and I think everyone was just rushing to the metro station. So that maybe That may be what you're referring to there from the subway. But we've been in very, very close contact with the Messe Berlin, and of course they have big events, they have big concerts at the Olympic Stadium, which is very close by to the Messe Berlin. The Messe Berlin is an incredible venue that some of their events attract 400,000 people, so vast numbers of attendees. And I think that, everything, the infrastructure is there for the city. I know for a fact from the subway, which is directly at the entrance, it's incredibly easy to get to the city centre, and there's a service every 10 minutes then from the Messe Süd stop, Haltestelle, which takes you directly to the Messe, directly to the city centre as well. I was recently in Berlin at the end of November, so the airport is open, which is probably everyone is probably thinking about the brand new airport. It is incredibly, it is a fantastic new airport. Works really, really well. It has direct services, so there's direct trains to the centre of Berlin. And then you've got taxis, etc., which can take you to the venue. And of course, we're always looking at the events. So from a FESPA perspective, we will be attending many of the events in Messe Berlin from when they start, which I believe is towards the end of March, early April. So we'll be attending there and making sure that I think people in this new world, we're all wary of crowds. So we're all wary of getting on crowded trains, etc. But I think people will be, the experience of FESPA, the opportunity to go around the event, to see everything. I think you'll see, like in Amsterdam, it was a lot easier to manage in terms of the people attending the event, etc. as well. So, but I'll keep my eye out for you, Lorenzo. So I'll join you on the train one day in Berlin.
Okay, it's probably too early to make clear predictions about the evolution of the pandemic, and over the past 2 years, the virtual trade shows, the virtual editions of in-person trade shows have been almost all light and shadows. What is FESPA doing for 22 and beyond? Do you plan to offer virtual or hybrid editions, both, or I don't know, will they be part of a package?
In virtual, yeah. So, for example, of course, when the pandemic hit in 2020, that's when everybody was jumping online and experience and having all the systems, etc. as well. And it's been great to see. So, for example, for me, for me personally, I've learned a lot. I've joined many events and many great experience and learned a lot about the industry. I think over the last couple of years, I have learned a tremendous amount about the industry. And this engagement, FESPA, we've had the coffee breaks. So we've run the coffee break series, which are led by Graham, focusing on the trends such as automation, sustainability, process control as well. So they've been looking at all those areas of the industry, and those have been really, really well received. So you're giving, you've got people coming in from all across the globe who are engaging directly with FESPA. In 2021, then we launched our virtual series of event, FIT series of event, which are focusing on the FESPA innovations and trends. And those were a tremendous success as well. So we had over 1,000 registrants at each event. Difficult to manage, of course, but really good for those presentations and the engagement. And of course, all that content is now available on the FESPA TV YouTube channel as well. So it's been a really good learning curve. So what do we have in plan for the future? Amsterdam, I don't know if you were able to join us in Amsterdam, but we had FESPA Live. So we were live streaming directly from the exhibitor stands, going around the exhibition, discovering some new products, and then that was being streamed live onto the FESPA Global Print Expo website as well. And over the event, that had 5,000 views over the duration of the FESPA exhibition in October as well. So we'll be looking at all that content. That was a great experience because it always gives people an opportunity to catch up, to find out what they missed, etc. So we'll be looking at all those areas ahead for Berlin. It's part of our business right now. I think if you look at the exhibitors in the industry, it's part of their social. People will start to build up their social campaigns when they're talking about their presentations at FESPA, when they're talking about their live streaming, etc. So we have to offer that to everybody. So it's been a great experience. It's been fun. We've all been discovering new talents and training some talents in the last couple of years, etc. as well. But it's also connected. So FESPA is all about connection, and I think it's, you know, if we look at the model, of course, nothing can replace face-to-face events. You know, if you think about back to October, to see events, to see people making sales, and there were lots of sales made in Amsterdam, for example, where people wouldn't have been able to buy online, because the main reason why FESPA happened in October was the industry, printers, the community. They said, we need to get back together. We need to see the industry. We need to see everything live again. And that's something which can't be replaced. But I think that, let's say, that return on experience, which can be a live show, which can be online, it can be the information that we provide before and after the FESPA show, that is something which, of course, we're looking at in detail. And we'll make some announcements soon as well.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for this first update on Berlin 2022. Fingers crossed. And if you agree, we can probably meet again in the next few weeks for a further update.
Yeah, fantastic. We've, you know, the website FESPA Global Print Expo will be live. It's being finalized right now, so that should be live at the end of January. And of course, we've got some big announcements coming up in February regarding and showcasing the companies who will be there, showcasing everything that they have brand new again for the industry, because that's something which was, if you think about October, the majority of everything on show was brand new to the industry. It was seen for the first time. And that's something which is going to be replicated. And the excitement, the energy, which we're already feeling now for Berlin, which will take place at the end of May. It's more June because the majority of the event is in June. So I'm looking forward to catching up with you and giving you all the great news regarding the FESPA exhibition, but also the FESPA community as well, worldwide. Thanks.
I wish you and the entire team of FESPA a great 2022.
Grazie Lorenzo. Let's see. I hopefully see you very soon. Ci vediamo pronto in Italia.